Hello guys, welcome back to the Popcorn Podcast. My name is Dylan, of course, and I hope everyone's doing great. It's the start of a new month. We're in March now, which means it's time for me to look back at every single movie that I watched the previous month, that being February, and share with you guys some quick thoughts that I have on those exactly. Just before we head on over to my Letterboxd diary, if you haven't got Letterboxd and you are someone who loves movies, I highly recommend you doing so. It's a great way for you to interact with other people who have a similar passion for cinema like myself. If you do want to give me a follow on Letterboxd, that'd be great, and I will try and follow you back as well, and maybe we can go and chat over there. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to stop waffling now. Let's get on over to my Letterboxd diary and check out every single movie that I watched in the month of February. Okay, so as you guys can see, I've watched 56 movies this month, which basically is an average of 2 a day, which I think is pretty good. It might be way too many for some people, and it might not be that much at all for others. I think, it's okay. I'll try and watch 2 movies a day. Sometimes I don't have enough time to watch 2 or even 1, so I'll have to catch up on some of those days. But anyways, at the start of the month, on the 1st of February, I watched one of my favorite feel-good films of recent years, that being Ford v Ferrari. That was actually my previous video. I actually made a video essay on Ford v Ferrari, so you can go check out my thoughts in depth over on that video, link in the description box. Then on the 2nd of February, I watched Promising Young Woman. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't like it as much as a lot of people. I know it's getting a lot of award ceremony buzz. I think Carey Mulligan does a great job in the lead role, and I think the director, I can't remember her name, she's really great. She has a really colourful style. The film was really entertaining, but I felt like for me it was a bit tonally inconsistent, and I'm not too sure on the ending. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it and see if my thoughts change. The Godfather, masterpiece. Godfather Part 2, masterpiece. Godfather Part 3, I don't dislike as much as a lot of people. I still think it's a pretty good film, especially the last about 45 minutes or so, the whole opera house sequence, I really enjoy. 7 out of 10 for me. Then on the 4th, continuing on, I watched one of Warner Brothers' latest movies called The Little Things. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really didn't like this film too much. I thought it was very average, and I thought it was such a waste of such good talent. You have Denzel Washington in the lead, who's one of the greatest actors ever, and then you have Jared Leto and Rami Malek as supporting roles. So you have that much talent. However, this turned out to be such a bland and boring thriller. I thought it was such a blatant ripoff of David Fincher's Seven, and 5 out of 10 for me. I really didn't enjoy it too much. Anyways, moving on. My last film watching on the 4th, I watched The Guest. Now this was a huge pleasant surprise for me. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a throwaway action thriller, except for I think it's a really well done film. It's got some really great direction, an awesome soundtrack, really good performances as well. Dan Stevens in the main role is both funny and terrifying at the same time. I highly recommend you guys check out The Guest. It's pretty fun. Moving on the 5th of February, I watched Malcolm and Marie. It debuted on Netflix on this day. If you guys want to check out my thoughts on that, I have a review that is linked down in the description box. I filmed a video for that, so you guys can go check it out. Then later on the 5th, I watched a horror film called As Above, So Below. I thought this was wasted potential. It wasn't really scary. It had more in common with, a scary maze at a theme park as opposed to something that really should terrify you. Didn't like it too much. Gave it 2 out of 5 stars. On the 6th, I watched A Prayer Before Dawn. Not sure if many of you guys have heard of this film, but it's based on a true story of a guy from Liverpool who actually was in prison in Thailand and turned to Muay Thai boxing as a means of escapism, and essentially he had to fight his way out of some really dark place. I thought this was a really brutal film to watch. Give it 3.5 stars out of 10. Pretty good. Moving on, I watched About Time. This is one of my all-time favorite rom-coms. I think Domhnall Gleeson and Rachel McAdams are just amazing in this film, and it's got a really cool time travel twist on it. If you haven't seen About Time and you do like rom-coms, I highly recommend you do so. Then to finish off the 6th, I watched The Faculty. This was one of my friend's favorite films growing up, so I decided to check it out, and yeah, it's pretty fun. It's got some familiar faces in it, like Elijah Wood and Jordana Brewster and Famke Janssen. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's basically a sci-fi alien horror, teen horror. So if you're into those kind of movies, definitely check it out. On the 7th, I finally got round to watching The Trial of the Chicago 7, which was pretty damn good. I mean, Aaron Sorkin, you know what you're getting into when you watch a film that is written, and not just written, also directed by Aaron Sorkin. I do think Aaron Sorkin is a better writer than he is a director, but luckily he's right in his element here. This is another courtroom drama, and it's such a powerful one as well. The cast is great. You have Sacha Baron Cohen in it, and a load of other familiar faces as well. So if you haven't seen The Trial of Chicago 7, definitely check it out. Moving on the 8th, I watched Dark Waters. I thought the film was pretty good. I didn't think it was amazing. I thought Mark Ruffalo was really good in it. I did find it a bit boring at times. However, I do recommend you guys check this out because it's a really disturbingly real film that I think concerns you and me and everyone. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a really frightening film. Check it out. To sort of flip the tone of that, I watched Bridesmaids. I think this is one of the better, chick flicks out there. Then on the 9th, I watched American Hustle for the first time. I think this film is a bit overrated. I'm sorry. I think the cast is, of course, great. I think the direction is great. But I don't know. I didn't really find anything original that I liked about it. I still gave it 7 out of 10, 3.5 out of 5 stars. So still a pretty good watch, but I do think it's a tad bit overrated. Moving on the 10th, I watched Macbeth with Michael Fassbender. This is definitely one of the most visually striking films I've ever seen. The language, of course, is Shakespearean. This is a Shakespearean play. And I'm not going to pretend that I understand everything that they were saying, but the visual storytelling on display here is incredible. So if you like visuals and visual art in films, definitely check out Macbeth. On the 10th, moving on the 10th, I watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is an anthology film by the Coen brothers. Now, if you don't know what an anthology film is, it's basically a movie made up of smaller movies within the entire picture. So I think this one has 7 mini movies, and some are better than others, but overall I didn't think any were particularly bad. But overall, a really great watch. I think they all have their own visual language to it, so it never feels repetitive or boring. So check it out. I think it's on Netflix. And then to end off the 10th of February, I watched Adventureland. This is a teen comedy from the same people who did Superbad, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was a good way to end the day off with. Moving on to the 11th, I watched Hugo, directed by Martin Scorsese. Yeah, I thought this was such a great adventure film, and if you are into the history of movies, definitely check Hugo out. Then I watched The Game. Now, The Game was the only David Fincher film that I hadn't seen, and I finally got around to watching it. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty fun, and of course, it's a David Fincher film, so it's going to be directed immaculately. However, I'm not too sure on the ending. I thought most of the movie was great. The ending, not sure about it. But anyway, sticking with the theme of games, I watched Game Night. The first time I watched it back in cinemas, I really didn't have the best experience with it. Not because the film was bad or anything, but I decided to check it out again, and I really enjoy it. I like Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams quite a lot, so they sold it for me. On the 12th, though, I finally got around to watching Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood, and straight masterpiece. Daniel Day-Lewis, of course, probably gives the best performance of his career. I think Paul Dano is really great in this film as well, and yeah, it has some of the greatest, the most impressive acting I've ever seen. The film is gorgeously shot. It's a masterpiece. That's all I'll say. Check it out if you haven't. Then I watched Bronson. I've seen this film before. I wanted to revisit it because one of my friends said he watched it and absolutely hated it. I don't hate it. I think it's an uncomfortable film to watch, but it's pretty crazy. Like I was never bored, and Tom Hardy, of course, is excellent as always. So yeah, it's not for everyone, but I thought, fuck it, why not? On the 13th, I watched V for Vendetta for the first time. Brilliant. I almost gave it 5 out of 5 stars, but it wasn't as great as some of the other comic book films that have set the bar so high, but still very, very good watch. I think Hugo Weaving in the role is great, and I think Natalie Portman is exceptionally good in this film as well. Anyways, moving on the 13th, Drive, one of my favorite films of all time. Not to keep going on about Drive, but Drive, the first time I actually watched the film, I wasn't a fan of it. It was one that grew on me gradually over time, and now it's one of my favorite films of all time, actually. So maybe I'll make a video on that one day. I've actually Drive and The Social Network are two films that I didn't really like, not that I didn't like, but I didn't love so much the first time, but now they are some of my favorite films of all time. We'll get to The Social Network soon though. On the 14th, it was Valentine's Day, so I decided to check out the Before trilogy for the first time. I loved it. It's not your typical romance film. It's a very, very realistic depiction on relationships, and if you like something with a bit more substance behind it, especially in the drama romance genre, definitely check out the Before trilogy. 15th, watched Green Room. Really great thriller, very violent, and really good villainous performance by Patrick Stewart. 16th, I watched the Lego Movie. Great animated feature, very, very creative, very colorful. Yeah, I love this film. 17th, I watched Judas and the Black Messiah, which is a new film by Warner Brothers. Daniel Kaluuya actually picked up a Golden Globe last night for it, as of when I'm filming this video. He just watched the film for him. He's outstanding in the movie, and on top of that, I think it's a really powerful film that as many people out there should check out. On the 18th, I watched The Hunt. Pretty disposable, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's very satirical, and I know that the film had a lot of controversy when it first came out. Finally decided to check it out, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun. On the 19th, I watched rewatched Sicario. In my first year of university, I did a film analysis class, and I actually studied this film, so it was nice to just sit back and just take the film in, not from a critical point of view. I think Denis Villeneuve, he's one of my favorite filmmakers working today, maybe even of all time, and Roger Deakins' cinematography is just gorgeous. Hadn't seen Sicario 2 though, and didn't think it was going to be anywhere near as great as the first. I was wrong, gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Brilliant sequel, tributed the first film whilst bringing in new things, and it has Benicio del Toro in it, who was I think the star of the first one as well, so that's always a bonus. Continuing on the 19th, I watched rewatched Avatar after many years actually. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'm sorry, I don't think any other film since Avatar has actually created such a unique and visually stunning world for you to immerse yourself in. So yeah, I rewatched Avatar, absolutely loved it. And then to finish off the 19th, I watched the anime film Your Name. Such an unconventional, beautifully, gorgeously animated film. I think if you like anime, and if you like anime, you've probably seen it, but if you are getting into anime, I highly recommend it. 20th, I watched The Ides of March. Great cast. I'm not really into political films, but this was pretty fun. Not fun, but pretty intriguing to watch. And then later on the 20th, Social Network, I've already said, one of my favorite films of all time. 21st, I watched Misery. Kathy Bates is incredible in this film. It's a great adaptation of a Stephen King novel, and I think it does such a great job of putting you in a claustrophobic environment where you feel really trapped and isolated from everything. So if you want an experience, check out Misery. I think it's great. Arrival, masterpiece, one of the great masterpieces of sci-fi in recent years by the one and only Denis Villeneuve. This was my second time watching it, and you have a completely different experience watching it for the second time. Then on to finish off the 21st, I watched a film called Revenge. This film was bonkers. Like, I'm talking, it was crazy. Not only was it one of the most gory and violent films I've ever seen in my life, but it was also one of the most visually ballsy films I've ever seen as well. Like the colors, the cinematography, it's great. And a lot of people don't like this film, and I've seen a lot of critique on this film. I think people who don't really like this film have really missed the point. I don't think it's supposed to be taken too seriously. But yeah, if you want to be blown away in the most subversive, crazy, ludicrous way possible, check out Revenge. It's really, really entertaining. 22nd, I watched Demolition. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorite actors, but I thought the film was pretty average. 22nd again, I watched a South Korean film called Burning. This was nail biting. It's pretty long, but it's damn thrilling. Like, I was on the edge of my seat for pretty much the whole thing, particularly the last hour of it. Steven Yeun's in it, and if you don't know who Steven Yeun is, maybe you recognize him from The Walking Dead. He plays Glenn on The Walking Dead. He's in this film. He's terrific. Then to finish off the day, I watched The Goonies. Now, I grew up with this film. It's an instant classic for me. On the 23rd, I watched Bombshell. I thought this film, the performances is what made it interesting for me. I thought the film was pretty average otherwise. Then I watched Signs. If you guys watch Chris Stuckman, he's like the biggest movie reviewer or movie guy out there on YouTube. This is the film that initially kickstarted his love for films and filmmaking. So I checked it out. Pretty good. It's a film by M. Night Shyamalan, who's a hit or miss, more often a miss at this point. But Signs, I think, it's pretty good, I think. Then I watched Requiem for a Dream for the first time, Darren Aronofsky, and I think this film is an incredible film, but I hated every single moment of it. So I think it's a great film, but it's repulsive. I love his films, but I hate his films. He's that kind of director. It's the same goes for Black Swan and Mother, which have come out more recently, but Requiem for a Dream, yeah, I hated every minute of it. Probably wasn't the best film to end the day with, but yeah, whatever. 24th, I watched The Favourite. I think this has incredible performances from Rachel Weisz, Olivia Colman, and Emma Stone, and it's such a beautifully shot film. The use of a fisheye lens, the production design is great. Then I watched The Accountant. Yeah, it was pretty good with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. It's alright. I don't think I'm going to watch it again though. And then on the 25th, I ended the night with Project X. I realized this film isn't that great, but it was one of the coolest films for me growing up as a kid. And I've actually thrown 2 parties myself. The first one actually that I actually had to shut down, so I can actually relate to the characters in this quite a bit. Yeah, it's, I really like this film. It's a guilty pleasure for me. I realize it's not that good, but I love it. Then I watched Greenland on the 26th, or Greenland on the 26th, I should say. Disaster movie, relatively new, with Gerard Butler. I thought the first half of it, or first hour of it, was okay. It was enjoyable. However, the second half it just fell into every single disaster movie cliche. I ended up giving it a 5 out of 10. 26, continuing on, I rewatched Pain and Gain. I watched this well back in my teens when everyone was, first starting to get into the gym. It's a Michael Bay film, so, I mean, if you don't know what you're getting yourself into when you watch a Michael Bay film, watch a Michael Bay film, I guess. Yeah, it's fun. It's so stupid, but it's fun. Then I watched The Judge. The Judge, I've had so many people say to me, this is such an incredible film, and it's one of their favorite films or whatever. I think it's alright. Like, I think the performances are amazing, and that's what actually makes this film work. However, I think the film is far too long, and some storylines just feel like they're in a completely different movie, and yeah, it's just a bit tonally inconsistent. But I think you should watch it for the performances. I think they're great. 27th, I rewatched Booksmart. I think I love this film now. I actually boosted it up half a star to a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's a super bad. It's got a super bad like structure, but I love it. I mean, yeah, there's nothing more to say on it. And yesterday, I finished off the month with South Korean film again called The Wailing, horror thriller film. Yeah, this was really disturbing, especially the last 45 minutes or so, which completely fucked my mind up. I said to myself I was normally going to end the month on one of my favorite films ever. I just didn't have the time last night because I decided to, stay up and watch the Golden Globes. So instead of, watching a film that's a favorite of mine, yeah. But anyway, I hit 56 films. I hit my goal for the month with The Wailing as my last film. Yeah. I think it was a pretty good month overall. I actually gave a lot of films quite a high rating. I don't normally do that, but I'm not gonna give a film a lower rating just for the sake of it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun watching movies in February, and hopefully that can continue on into the next month. March has 31 days, so hopefully I'll hit 62 films this month, which is will be the highest amount I've watched this year, of course. So yeah, that is it. Those are all the films I watched in the month of February. Let me know what some of your thoughts are on some of those films are in the comment section down below. Once again, if you don't have Letterboxd, check it out, get it, add me, I'll add you back, and then we can go and chat over there. Guys, if you aren't subscribed to the Popcorn Podcast channel, consider doing so if you love movies and you want to see more of these kind of videos, more video essays. I've got a WandaVision review, full series review should be coming out later on this week, maybe the weekend. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it, and have a great week, guys. I will catch you very soon.